next week. So we can deliver it to community to read and to study it if someone have time and have willing to do that. So yeah.
Maybe you can already summarize a little bit what were the major changes to the Amsterdam one, because you made changes to the Amsterdam constitution, right? That was your foundation.
Right. This is a very good question. I actually did summarization. I summarized it. Main changes and proposal for arbitration. There is also some special proposal for arbitration system, and it's in a Google Doc file, and I can make it in a Medium. I can post in a Medium, or just can give it in a Google Doc file. It depends what kind of format is the most suitable. Just would like to know your opinion.
I mean, if you want to make it public, then Medium is nice because it's a nice layout. If you just want to share it with the community so they see what is the major differences or what is the improvement compared to the Amsterdam one, or what is the difference, then I would put it in a Google Doc, because then you can just copy paste or merge the documents.
Yeah, I think the point of Google Doc is easy to comment. It's not so nice layer, but you can comment some special sentences, special articles. So it's very good feature. I think it's very useful.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So when you want to keep on working on this, then you turn it into a Google document and then you share it with people. If you just want to like make it public, then you use Medium, I think.
I think right now that our topic is another constitution right now, so I will just share it after the call.
Awesome.
Don't want to disturb people.
Yeah. You're always welcome to share it here too. We may have a little bit of time at the end. We'll go ahead and jump in to our questions this week and our slides. I just pasted the Chinese the spreadsheet that we made last week, the one that Martin talked about in his recap. And it's the one that we compiled all of our questions there. So I just put it in there for us to start looking at, and I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, and let me introduce you today the translator. She is Tiffany from US Shenzhen, and I think she is new members of the community. So how about you start to introduce yourself, Tiffany? I'm not sure she can listen. 在线吗?
Hello. Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I'm Tiffany from US Shenzhen, new to this community, and it's my first time attending this meeting. 我需要讲中文去翻译吗？还是怎样？
就是这样的。等会儿开始讲的时候，你就开始需要翻译的节奏，你会明白的。实在不行，我会帮你的。你就直接开场吧，很放松的，好不好 ？Let's start。
哦，所以是一个口译是吧？不是那个。
一个口译。好的。对。
OK。
Let's go ahead, Kevin.
Great. All right. Thank you. Welcome, Tiffany. Appreciate you coming on. And here we are on week 11. I think as Martin said in his recap, it's hard to believe we're already at week 11. But time flies when you're in EOS. So I'll move this over here, get it out of the way. So this is the same slide as last week. Just thank you for the folks who have put out a constitution already. And Tiffany, I'll give you a moment to translate just a moment. But basically, we want to say we have now, I think, 4 or maybe 5 different drafts. We have the Russian community draft that Dmitry and the community there have put together. We have EOS Amsterdam. We have the Korean version. And we now have a couple more that have come out. I think one recently. But anyway, so we have many drafts now. And our goal here is to start to bring all these drafts together, hopefully into 1 or 2 excellent drafts that will help everybody decide what they would like more easily when we actually go to a vote. Tiffany, I'll let you translate what you can there, please.
Okay. 现在我们有几个版本，不同的语言的版本，有韩语的，还有Mira 还有几个什么版本的，然后接下来会把这几个版本结合在一起，做出一个最佳的版本来。
Thank you. And so the overview of this meeting, we've had a lot of questions. Last week we got together in that Google document. Thomas Cox led us through it, and we were able to get some questions together, the most important questions that people had in their minds. And Tiffany, I'll let you go ahead.
所以今天会选出一些大家重要的问题，然后
Yeah, and so I guess what we're doing here is we need to reach consensus on what questions we need to address first, and that's what we're going to do today. Is just work together on the spreadsheet and do that. And you guys can see that, read that here in the slide as well. Thank you, Myra, for the Chinese translation on there. So step one is to receive questions. Go ahead, Tiffany.
OK， 今天会在几个重要的问题上面达成共识，然后一些问题会在这个 Google Docs 上面的 spreadsheet 上面 update 给大家更新。
Great, thank you. And so we can probably split off into two groups in here, and that would actually help a lot with. I think there are about 45 questions total on the spreadsheet, which again is it linked into the chat there. Google document spreadsheet. And so we can split off into two groups, and then each group can have 20 questions each, roughly. And then that each group can figure out which are the most important top 5 to 10 questions that need to be brought back. And then we can hone it down into the top 10 for the entire group.
在这个 Google Doc 上面的表格里面，大家可以看到有很多的问题，然后我们会投票选出一些比较重要的问题，是10个左右，然后大家会就这些问题来达成共识。
All right, thank you, Tiffany. And Martin, I'm passing you recording rights now. I just saw your note there. You have it now. And Jia Chen in the chat was saying, let's use that Shimo document. And yes, if you can use that link that you see from Daqian in the chat, that will be the questions link. Is it easier to access in China? Is that why it's a better option? And that might be a question for Daqian.
It's better for the people who cannot use Google.
Awesome. Okay. I know Google has some can't access it there in China. Okay. Good. So everybody has the Shimo document pulled up, and we'll go ahead and start breaking off into two groups. I think we'll do about 5 people per group to help break these questions down and make them easier to work through.
I have one question. Is the Google Doc and the Shimo document identical, or was there further work on the Shimo document?
There further work on the Shimo document.
Okay, good to know. Thanks.
Yeah, let's let
Unfortunately,
go ahead.
Unfortunately, I can't open it with my VPN on, so that's I don't know. But I will check.
We
in the group we will have one person, I guess, sharing the screen. Is this correct, or?
We can do that. That would be ideal, I think. Yeah.
Cool. So I can't do this.
Okay. So we'll need 2 facilitators, one for each group. Dimitri, would you like to facilitate one of the groups? And Myra,
Sorry guys, my computer is broken. I'm sitting from phone. I'm afraid it won't be convenient from phone.
Okay, no problem. All right. We'll let Myra do one group, and then Daqian, are you able to share your screen on the other group?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And Kevin, sorry, just one more thing. I think we probably want to finish all the slides and let everybody know that what questions are we going to prepare to discuss when we come back to the main room. So it'll be helpful for everyone to know what exactly they are, we were looking for in today's meeting.
Yep, good point. Here are the slides again, resharing my screen. Step 2. So after the discussion, after we get together on our groups, we select the 3 most important questions that your particular group believes must be answered. And Tiffany, I'll let you translate that, please.
用户的话，没有 Google Doc access 的，我们可以在石墨上面，然后看这些问题。每个小组大概是5个人，然后通过讨论选出你们认为重要的3个问题。然后
Oh, go ahead.
如果选不出3个的话，可以在小组中提出你们认为重要的问题。最多限制在3个，可以最多是4个。
And it's possible you may find your group has new questions or can make the question better, then they can go ahead and do that.
如果你们认为这上面的问题不够好，或者你们有更好的问题觉得值得讨论的话，你们可以在上面加入。
Sorry, again, how many questions we need to choose? 10 questions, right?
So we're going to break it down into 3 per group. I had said 10 before, that was too many. We're going to do 3 instead per group. And then when we come back into the main group, we should have 3 from each group. And then we can also pick out extras if we want at that point. But so we'll basically, with 2 groups, we'll end up with top 6 questions. It looks like if we do have extra questions, the group
I'm sorry, Kevin.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. So I basically designed the slides, and originally what I was hoping to do was to divide the total number of questions in the doc, divide by the number of groups that we have today. It looks like we have 2 or 3 groups, right?
2 groups.
And so among each 3 groups.
2,
okay.
I think.
2 or 3, Kevin?
It's actually, we could do up to 3 if you want.
Okay, great. So let's say that we have about 60 questions in total in Shimo doc, and then every group has about 20 questions for their own own respective group, and then I'm asking everybody in the group to select the top 3. If not, if they think there are more questions, then top 4 most important questions among those 20 questions, and then categorize those questions and try to answer those questions if they can, and then come back to the main room and bring those 4 most important questions to everybody. Does that make sense to you? Because what I was hoping to do is to gather at least 10 questions for our discussion today. And so if we have 3 groups, then either 9 questions or 12 questions makes sense. So we will want to condense the questions and make the most important ones just collectively in each group, and then share with everybody, if that makes sense to you.
It sounds good. Actually, can you go ahead and translate that to Chinese as well, Chen?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. 大家今天我们的计划是这样子，我们目前在石墨文档里有59个，算它60个问题。那么我们目前呢是分为3个小组。Tiffany 不好意思啊，因为我是这个设计这个 slides 的，我再说一下这样子。所以我们60个问题除以3个小组，每个小组大概分到20个问题。然后我们在这20个问题里面，我知道这个任务很艰巨，大家需要从这20个问题里面选出你认为最重要的3个问题，或者是最多你可以选择4个问题。那么选出来之后，我们可以把每个问题进行归类，然后试着对这些问题做出解答。因为这些问题是我们在将来无论是撰写公约还是举行全民公投时，我们大家都需要就这些问题达成共识，或者是就这些问题来选出你心目当中最心仪的版本。所以说选出这些最重要的问题是很重要的。那么今天我们就做这个事情，希望我在这里跟大家解释清楚了。如果有不清楚的话，可以在聊天室里打字。
Thanks, Chen. Dimitri, did you have a question as well? You're on mute, Dimitri.
Let's just do it.
Well, I think we should clarify this one more time. When we have 3 groups, I would say group 1 takes question 1 till 19, group 2, 20 to 39, and group 3, 39 to 59.
That's great.
Sounds like a great suggestion. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Can you write that in chat, Martin? Folks
yeah, sure.
A link in WeChat.
I mean, do it.
Yeah, I can. You are on WeChat already?
Yeah. You just send me in WeChat and I can open it on iPad.
I'm sending to you right now.
Cool.
All right, thank you. Great, I got it.
You see, it's the same at phone. It's also start with 17. But let's just whatever.
Okay, can you scroll down? Maybe.
At
Can
phone.
you scroll down?
Okay.
On your screen, scroll down, please.
Okay, it's 59. And
okay, then we're really missing the first 16.
Let's just start with this English question because that's the only thing we can discuss about because all English talking people.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
let's start with this field and discuss really good.
Yeah, but I'm afraid we're not doing our job right then, and that's not cool.
We need to proceed. This is how this can be. This is only few English we can discuss.
Okay.
Don't let Anders think we're so much hesitating cannot do.
Hey, Anna.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do the
so
important.
More beautiful question.
You're basically talking about 17 to 26, yes?
That's the only thing we can do now.
Okay.
Really weird.
You can also open it, Dimitri. When you open the Shimo link on your iPad, what does?
I'm trying to open. You guys still connecting. Trying my best. I can see the highest I can see is 12. It's hiding behind. You need to call. Who made this? Is Dacian made it, right?
Dacian made it.
Then you need to call him to help us with the. Yeah. And some of them in Chinese, some of them in English.
Okay, can you compare this document to the Google document?
I cannot open Google document. I'm not.
Yeah, okay, Myra, can you just share the screen?
It's here.
Share the group. Yeah, okay. Dimitri, are these similar?
I'm open both.
No, wait.
The way it looks to me like
I will read. What makes Constitution excellent?
It's not similar. 17.
Okay. All right. So let's do all the English questions in this document. Let's start with 1 to 17, and when we agreed on those, 1 to 16, and when we have agreed on those, we go to the lower ones that are also in English. Everybody agrees with that?
Okay, let's go.
Okay. So, can we create a coherent constitution?
What does it mean, coherent?
Coherent means that it's easy to understand and also you can follow it, that it makes sense. I mean, I'm not a native speaker. Maybe Philip, you know, coherent means basically that it's easy to.
Sorry for interrupting. Just as an English speaker, coherent it's a fairly well-known word in English. It just means easy to understand and make sense.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I think as
Not
a question,
not important.
not important. I mean, it's a more of a rhetorical question, I think, right?
I think it's obvious. The third question is more important than this one. Number 3 is more important.
Are we agreeing on scratching number 2? That this is not one of our most important ones.
Let me do this.
Everybody agrees? I agree.
I agree.
Yes, agree.
Okay.
Agree.
Okay. Next one. How do we create a few coherent constitutions built out of a bunch of conversations? Okay. So basically, this question for me means that we have a lot of talk. We had a lot of talk in the last 10, 11 weeks, and there's a lot of like all these questions. We see them, and how do we really proceed from now? Getting all these points together, and we're doing this actually right now. So this is another like pretty rhetorical question for me, right? Also not important.
Not important.
It's more about the how than. I mean, it is an important question, but okay.
I think we should read more questions till the bottom. Then some of them we just cross out because we don't know what will be in future.
Okay, I think the next one is interesting. How long or short should the constitution be? Maybe on this one we can already have an answer about our idea.
I think it shouldn't be longer than 8 pages.
How big of a font do you mean?
No, it shouldn't be more than 15 articles or 16.
Okay.
We'll cancel it also because long or short is not important. If it doesn't make any sense, longer is useless.
Yeah, and I already gave answers, so the question is not important.
Okay. So the next one, in order to keep the constitution short and simple, do we need other governance documents to go along with the constitution that go into deeper detail?
Yeah,
I think those questions are pretty related.
Yeah, and a point of this, we can answer these questions by ourselves. Why we need to have these questions? For sure, we need additional documents.
Okay. Well, I think there are two models. One is like a really like clear, coherent, short constitution that every user can understand, and that goes in combination with sub-documents, So when we agree on this, then the previous questions, do we want a long or a short constitution, is already answered. So I think we can merge these questions to one. But let's keep this open for a while. Don't cross this right now, but let's move on, okay?
Yeah. So we just combine 3 questions into one question, and we make it more important.
Yeah. I mean, if we want sub-documents, other sub-documents, governance sub-documents, then we basically agree that we want a short, coherent constitution, right? Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So to the next question, should the name constitution be changed to something else?
Not important.
Okay.
Not important. Just constitution. We call it already constitution.
Okay. Adar and Philip, are you guys taking part in this, or are you just recording and listening in?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening. If there's anything that I object to or would like to add, I'll speak. Sounds good so far.
Okay. What makes an excellent constitution?
The question is so big, so because it's so big, okay? So it's about principle.
Okay. So what is your suggestion? You want to cross this out, or you want to keep it?
I don't really like this question because it's not. This question don't have
meaning.
no, meaning like it's not special question which will bring us to some target. It's just common question. What makes excellent constitution?
Just say,
And
how do you definition a person is good? And you can say 1,000 words and the meaningless question. Meaningless reason.
Well, but like the way I see it, all these questions are really combined. So if we scratch all the previous one and give a short answer to the what makes an excellent constitution and say, okay, excellent constitution is coherent. It's everybody can understand it. It's accessible, you know, and it shows the basic principles about which direction the EOS community wants to go. Then this question is good when we can give a short answer, you know.
I see.
That's what I mean. They're connected. So can you edit this question a little bit, right? You can edit this.
I can.
So yeah. So maybe write some suggestions that we think are potential answers to this question.
Tell me more.
Well, maybe we can go in a row. For me, a constitution needs to be representative, and we already have coherent, right? We all agree that it needs to be coherent, right?
coherent is a nice word. I'd never used it before, but I think it fits this question.
Yes.
It should work. If it's not work, then it's useless. It should work. Then it's excellent constitution.
Okay, but okay, that's an interesting point. Like, what does it make? What needs to work? Like, because the code works.
A constitution should solve some problems, answer the questions of the users, and be used in any particular case. Like, if you have some question, you just go to constitution and you're already clear with all your things.
Okay, so you just mentioned clear. It's also like coherent. But my question was like, what does you said it needs to work? So what needs to work is like the constitution is a lot about protection, right?
Yeah, you're right. Protection.
It protects the users, right?
And
yeah, protecting the rights, and also from who it's protecting. It's basically like in a lot of conversations we talk about separation of powers. I think the constitution should, or a good constitution, an excellent constitution, creates a balance between the powers, right? The political powers in EOS.
Yes, political powers as well.
Yeah, okay. So what makes an excellent constitution? It's coherent, it's representative.
Yeah,
it protects the users
and gives balance of the powers.
Yeah, and establishes a balance of powers. So I think those 4 points are for me the most important one. For me personally, and we can agree on this, right?
If someone want to add something to this question, guys, please.
Okay. Okay. One more thing, Myra, would be adding establishes a balance of powers. Okay. So next, can we move to the next question?
Next question: who should do the creating? How are they selected?
Okay.
It's a good question, I think, but I have opinion on this point. But we're choosing question, not answering questions right now. So
okay.
I would like to leave this question.
You want to cross that? Okay.
No, I would like to leave, not cross it out.
Leave it. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So next one is like the topic ECAF. Should we make it written in the constitution that BP shouldn't act without the ECAF's order, except the basic block produce function? I think this question, while answering what makes an excellent constitution, we kind of answered this question this as well. So for me, this is not so important.
It's obvious
Because,
answer to this question, but maybe for some people it's not. For us, it's obvious answer, Martin. But try to look from the head of another person.
Sure, but I think this breakup group is really about like getting consensus between us. You know.
All right. Then there is you already know the answer. Then you just cross it out.
Okay. No, I think like when we mention the balance of powers, then we answer these questions already. Like it's an important question, definitely, but yeah. Let's move on and see what else is there, because I see all these questions are very related.
So
yeah, give it a color.
Yellow. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, how do we merge multiple constitution proposals?
We need to have one frame. We need to have one frame, I think, and then just give different proposals in the same frame.
Yeah. So I see these two. The previous one, who should do the creating and how are they selected, is kind of connected to this question. If you think that from each constitution proposal we have like one or two representatives, you know, that come together and negotiate between the different groups.
I think I was talking today with Kyle from EOS Vibes for a long time, and
Higher Vibes.
They get proposal to make it on chain, so there is no many personality. It's more impersonal solution for this. So people can give suggestion, which suggestion gets more power by votes. It will get in on the top. It will be more popular. People will just will follow this topics or these articles or these sentences or these proposals. I'm not clear how it should look, but there is a less involved human being in this part, and it's more on chain.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's related to their chat that they want to do. But yeah, we won't. I think this question is quite important. Not for the constitution. It's like how are we proceeding from here? So I would like to keep this question.
Yeah, I agree with you. This question is not answered question.
Yeah, but then we can definitely scratch the who should do the creating and how are they selected. Because okay, agreed. Okay.
If you find something you like, we're already highlighting them. Okay. If you like something really a lot, we directly put into red.
So yellow is confirmed question, right?
It's like we about to cancel it, but we're
okay. Then we have what will the newcomer to EOS appreciate in a constitution? Again, I think with what makes an excellent constitution, we gave an answer, and like for me, like what will be the new? It's important that. Oh, we have 5 minutes left, by the way. We need to speed up a little bit. What's important for a newcomer is that he has access to it, that he understands it. So it's basically like the Declaration of Independence or like the basic rights. And they should be in there and it should be accessible. So this is something that we kind of need to do, right?
Let's leave this question. Let's go forward. Let's leave this question.
So scratch it or no?
Yeah, no, just I mean leave is mean like keep it.
Just okay, move on. Okay. will be possible to choose different articles from different constitution to vote, or should we choose one of constitution entirely? Okay, this, I think what they want to say is, should we choose per referendum each article, or should we vote per referendum only on like a finished? Okay, well, I think this is quite interesting because it also solved a lot of the previous questions.
Let's keep this question. It's an interesting question.
Yeah, but we definitely need to rewrite this because people don't understand this.
No,
but maybe later. Okay.
Yeah, we don't have time.
Okay. What is validity really of editors' drafts for our contexts? For me, not important.
Not important.
For me, it's
yeah.
not
Other questions.
I don't
yeah,
live
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea what they want to do. Who selects the editors? How does it? How does it? Okay, we have this already before. Can be crossed.
Yeah.
Okay. Voting process will be similar to choosing the piece or other concept. Okay, voting process for the constitution, that is, right?
Yeah.
So that means referendum.
Yeah. Referendum.
Yeah, right. We're voting per referendum on the constitution, on this model or that model. I think what they want to say is it also one token, one vote, or not, right? Anybody understands this question differently?
Yeah, I understand the same thing. But it's a good question. It's not answered question.
Okay. Okay, what is the minimum vote participation ratio for the constitution to pass? I think, yeah. We have 2 minutes left. For me, this is already in Constitution version 1, how amendments of a constitution are done.
And actually, basically all agree with that condition. So I don't think that's an important question.
Okay. All right. So we scratch this as well.
So let's go forward. How many questions we have?
Yeah, we have like 1 minute. We have like 1 minute left. So I think we need to scratch the ones that are over there.
On the bottom here, the 3 questions.
Okay, let's go quickly to the bottom. Maybe there's something. Currently, is too long. Okay, this is about like the name of ECAF. I think this is a detail. It's not so important. It will be solved anyway. Can we leave the free choose of proxy voter? Okay, this is about proxies.
I already know who did this question. I will cancel this question. This is the guy who continue want to solve that domain. You know who it is?
I don't know, but we have not much time now.
I want to cancel this question. This question is the guy who bought the domain and just want to sell the domain for.
Okay, scratch it.
I will delete it.
50 seconds left.
So it disappeared.
We will leave the free choice. Okay, should the constitution make it clear that arbitrators on you should be free market or not?
Yes.
It's a good question. I don't know if we
keep this question.
Okay. Should we make it clear that organize any arbitration forum on Earth shouldn't be involved by any BCs? Yeah, the last 2 questions.
Keep it.
They are interesting. Keep it. Yeah, okay, but we have no more questions.
And you don't have your most favorite one.
Okay, guys, we have 10 seconds left.
All right, see you in the main.
Yeah, see you in the main room.
Bye.
Sharing our different perspectives. Here's Martin. Here comes everybody. I think group 1 is filtering in here. Hey guys. Here's Myra's screen.
We start to decide which question is totally no need. And
actually, we face big problem with the frame of the question, and we spend many time in the begin because we cannot find out the top 10 questions in the schema file. It was a bit hard, so we choose to work on like this without top 10 questions. So we took questions from another team.
因为这个，你看这个文档17之前是打不开的，试了几个苹果、iPad、手机都试过了，所以说我们只能从这上面来回复了。
Yeah, in the end, we decided to work with a Google document. Datien, do you know if the beginning of both documents are similar?
Yes, they are exactly the same. So smart choice.
Cool. All right, awesome.
And you guys are group 1, so you can go ahead and share if you'd like what you came up with.
Okay. Okay, let me quickly. Some of the questions we decided that they're pretty addressing the similar topic, so we wanted to merge them later, but the time kind of ran out. For example, like can we create a Korean constitution? I mean, this is pretty rhetorical. How do we create a few Korean constitution built on a bunch of conversations is also in another question, like what will be possible to choose different? No, wait. There was one. Anyway, yeah. Where is it? I don't know. So basically, we didn't really finish. But the most important for us was like what makes an excellent constitution, and we had a couple of answers for this from the other questions, and this is like that is coherent. So and that answers the question: should it be long or short? Should there be sub documents? And I think we can agree. We kind of agreed that the constitution should be coherent and it should be accessible for new users, and that it should be representative. And I kind of brought us to the question about who creates and who edits and who decides on the merging process. So there were a couple of questions addressing this topic. We wanted to rephrase all these to like one question. Didn't have the time for this. Another thing is like an excellent constitution for our group would mean that it establishes some sort of balance of power, and that answered the question whether or not in ECAF if people in ECAF should be connected to any of the block producers, and a constitution should kind of address this and make it clear that how, if, and if not, basically. Then I don't know. I didn't write the constructive. Myra, maybe you can say something to this.
It's here. Martin,
yeah,
constructive is here.
Yeah. How do I didn't say that. So what did we mean with constructive?
You say established.
Yeah, established balance of powers. So
yes, this is the word you're using. Yeah.
So basically, these are the three things that we answered for this question. Like, it should be coherent, it should be representative. So we need to think about the process, how we merge it, and how we decide who edits the different constitutions. And we were talking about that each of the different constitutions has representatives that are in the process of that then decide how to merge. This would be another thing that we need to work on. And yeah, I think the most interesting questions, if I summarize a little bit, is like, what makes an excellent constitution for us? How do we merge multiple constitution proposals? And then there are a couple of other questions regarding this. And then there were some in the bottom that I found pretty interesting, or that we found pretty interesting, and we didn't cross. It's like yeah, should there be a free market? Can we leave free choice for proxy for vote? Yeah, I don't know. We didn't. That was like 1 minute. So I said the two most important for me. The third one we didn't really decide yet. I think I talked enough.
I think, yeah, it sounds like
yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Dimitri.
The last questions is also very important because it's a key point of separation power in the network, and we need to keep kind of this question and keep this question open for the public. Thank you.
Sorry, break the rule. We totally think out of the box. Instead of choosing the most favorite one, we destroy the most unfavorite one.
Yeah, you guys, we have some very strong similarities between group 3 and group 1. I can already tell, but we'll let group 2 go first before we do group 3. But yeah, I think that Shannon, what did you guys come up with in group 2?
Yeah, first of all, I think group 1 did a great job to breaking the rules. That's all we want. There's no set rules to discuss this. But so here in group 2, I think Victor would be he will be our spokesperson today. And if you could allow me to share my screen here, that'd be great. Kevin, if I can do that.
Should be able to, I think. Go ahead and try it.
Sure.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Victor, here we go.
Hello， 大家好。这个是我们组的一些讨论的一些主要的问题，这个大千已经列出来了。然后我们讨论了Stephen 提出了一个非常重要的问题，就是我们的公约现在修订，无论是 1.0 版本还是 2.0 版本，主要是从持币人的角度出发。但是 EOS.IO 这个平台是为了推动商业落地而产生的，所以我觉得在新的公约修订中，我们应该更多的听从项目方或者是一些开发者的意见，把他们的意见也融入进去，然后再加上我们持币人的意见，做出来一条这个对开发者和持币人都有利的一条公约，而不能太偏向某一方。好，谢谢。然后大千麻烦翻译一下。
Great. Basically, Stefan, he already left the meeting because he needs to attend another one. So what he proposed in our group chat was that he participated in a lot of such discussions and group chats, and he found that most of us kind of misunderstood what EOS.IO is for. Is built for. So he believes that the purpose of the EOS.IO, this blockchain, is all about encouraging or promoting this businesses and dApps to the mass adoption. And right now, there are just too many limitations, restrictions for developers, for service providers. And one of the points that he brought up was that when we have this weekly meeting and we see a lot of token holders, we see a lot of community enthusiasts participated in our discussion, but not a whole lot of dApp developers, service providers, technologists. And what was missing here in our discussion is that we need those developers, we need those service providers, businesses to really understand. First of all, the EOS.IO's constitution is also has tons of relations, tons of connections essentially to the overall success of these dApps to these businesses. So it is very important for businesses and service providers to understand why they should also understand, they should also read and think about why the constitution is important for them, because essentially it's all related to each other, one another. And so I believe this further just brought up a very good point that Haifeng from EOS Store, I think he shared a very good note on WeChat yesterday, saying we all know that EOS Store is from a product perspective. They really kind of help us to promoting this businesses to the mass adoption. And Haifeng is from a product field himself, and I think he really sees the significance of the Constitution and how important that relates to the app developers and all those technologists. So what we proposed here is that we need more people like Haifeng from EO Store and to really help developers, to really help those people from a more from a variety of angles, from different perspectives, to really understand why the Constitution is also important. And if I can phrase it in a different ways, is should be more important to them than the token holders. And don't get me wrong, that it is very important for our token holders to make sure to secure our property rights and liberty and safety on chain. But in the meantime, the Constitution is also related to them as well. So that's the basic point. That's the main point that we wish to share with everybody here today.
Great point.
Yeah, Victor, 你还有其他需要补充的吗？就是你可以讲一下。If we have just a bit more time, I think Victor also just held their first meeting with very influential and knowledgeable people in the Chinese community last week. Victor, 你可以跟大家介绍一下。
我们上周就是开了一次华语社区的公约修订会议，我们也主要理了我们修订公约的思路。这要翻译一下吗？先？
不用，我去说。继续。
然后我们第一点是，那我们先清楚了这 EOS.IO 是否需要公约，我们的结果是需要。所以在需要公约的前提下，我们要保证我们是否要保证持币人的链上权益和链上资产的安全。如果我们需要保证，那么我们就需要一个争议解决机制来处理这些事情。比如说发生了丢币，或者是发生了 DAPP 被攻击的事情，我们应该怎么办？然后我们就以现在的情况和现在的公约版本，我们决定以仲裁作为这么一个默认的处理形式。那么我们就要制定一套合理的仲裁方案了。这个是在我们明天的会议中会有讨论的。对，然后我们制定出来了一条就是合理的仲裁体系之后，我们会约定由谁来管制这些仲裁庭、仲裁员以及处理争议的这些，以及封禁账号的这些 BP 们，如何限制 BP 的权益，如何限制仲裁员、仲裁庭的那些权益，然后我们再做一个关于投票、选超级节点的这些问题，基本上这个公约的一个雏形就可以出来了。对，这是我们的思路。
谢谢 Victor. So Victor just shared with us that he helped to held a meeting last week with I believe with Dr. Wang from EOS Pacific and with He Deling, those Guangshu, those community enthusiasts, those very very knowledgeable and well-known people in the Chinese community, and they started to ask this very important question, which is, should we have a constitution at all? And I think unanimously, they all agree that yes, we should have a constitution so that we can make sure that people will have these property rights and safety and liberty secured on chain. And the next question, so they already got to this step, and then the next step would be, if there are disagreements, there are discrepancies in the community, and how do we do that? How do we solve this problem? Well, they propose that now we need to come up with a reasonable arbitration process that gets everyone's recognition. And so in their next meeting, hopefully this week or next week, I think they're gonna really work on this question. And then moving forward, they will continue doing this great process, start proposing solutions on possible restrictions on whales, on the some of the big exchanges that may bring may break balance to the force, or break balance to the force within the community. That's what I understood. So that's basically the points that we group 2 here to share with us. So that's all.
You guys, group 2 did a great job. You guys have sort of expanded our thoughts here a little bit. Certainly, thanks for refocusing us. Good points. And we have about 15 more minutes scheduled here. And hopefully by the end of this, we can take away maybe 3 to 4 or maybe 5 questions, Dutch-Yan, as you said, that the whole group believes should be brought up. And so let me go through group 3's. and Tiffany's going to help me translate. And if you could stop sharing your screen for a moment, please, Dutch-Yan, I'll share my screen.
Oh, sure. Sorry, just give me a second. Now, how do I stop share the screen? My bad.
You should see near the bottom, there'll be a red button. Should be. There you go. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so I'll show you what we basically bolded or made bold the questions that we believed are most important. We actually picked out 5 with the intention of reducing 1 in case another group had a similar one. So heard a lot of the similarities between group 1 and what we were saying. And I think the most important question, or one of the most important, was 52 for us, which when you translate it, and Tiffany, actually, I'll let you go ahead and describe question 52 for us, please. But it's about certain groups, for example, exchanges having too much power, and what we should do about that, and whether the Constitution should make it clear how to work with those groups. Tiffany, can you elaborate a little bit on this and translate it, please?
好的，OK Kevin，所以经过讨论，我们一共选出了5个比较重要的问题，是如果说前面的在出这几个讨论的过程中，我们想到如果其他的组大家有一些比较相类似的话题的话，我们可以多选出来几个预备的问题。然后刚刚听了 Group 1的 presentation 以后，我们发现我们跟 Group 1有很多一些相似的问题。我们组里面通过讨论以后，觉得最重要的问题是第52个问题，也就是公约是否解决了节点和交易所的投票问题，也就是存在某一些节点它的权力过大，而这个问题是否在我们的公约中有提及到，并且能够帮助解决这样的问题。Okay, Kevin, I finished. You can go ahead.
Thanks, Tiffany. And so the next part we talked about that also was correlated with group number 1 is when we look at 50 and 51 here, these questions are somewhat similar, but asking whether arbitration should be free market or not, and should the Constitution make it clear that it's free market and that the BPs cannot be involved in any way in arbitration. This is important to us. We believe, well, I don't think we answered the question. We just wanted to make sure the question gets some notice. And Tiffany, I'll let you go ahead.
我们另外讨论了2个问题，就是第50个问题和第51个问题，就是是否这个公约上是否应该讲明说仲裁这个 US 的仲裁是否应该是free market。还有第51个问题就是我们是否应该在公约里面表明说任何的仲裁的论坛 forum 其中不应该有任何的 BP。
And so the last one, or go ahead, Tiffany. Are you all done?
Yeah, I translated question 50 and 50.
Okay, thank you. And then the last one we added, we actually wrote in ourselves because we brought it up when we were reading through these questions and we realized this was not on here in our section, but we wanted to make sure it was clear. How do we condense? How do we bring together all these Constitution options into just one proposal? Maybe 2, but ideally less than 5. We need to sort of bring all the constitutions together for the community to vote on. So that's the question we would like to see discussed. And Tiffany, I'll let you translate.
所以说我们sorry, Kevin, you want me to translate about the last one, question 59?
Yes, please.
OK, 所以我们讨论的是还有第59个问题，就是我们是否应该把这5个公约选项都结合成一个公约，然后让我们的社群去投票。Okay, Kevin, I finished. You can go ahead.
All right. Yeah, that sums it up for group 3. Those are the most important that we found. So I guess we should loop back around here. We have about 10 more minutes or so scheduled here. We need to loop back around if we can and sort of narrow down. Do we want to put all these questions into a top 10 list, or do we want to try and narrow it down further? Martin, I see you've been taking notes. Do you have the list of the top ones that you've seen, or has someone been writing them all down?
I would like to share my experience from previous calls.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
I find out one thing, that what is the easiest way to find consensus with the constitution and articles to get to one proposal is just to get the most suitable frame. The most important is to get frame, and then to get right people on the call. The best if you can have some kind of people who have a lawyer background and they're familiar with blockchain and they know recording contracts, and then you give them some suggestions, and inside this frame they can help you to build a proposal for constitution with some kind of people. But on the call there shouldn't be a lot of people because it will be mass. It should be not more than 10 people on one call. And this call shouldn't be very short because people need to get into this topic. And if it's breaking in 1 hour and people just get their mind into the creation process, it is breaking, then there is no sense in this. So basically, if the call longer than 2-3 hours and you get in frame, then you can have 2-3 proposals of constitution, which can be a bit different from each other, have different points of view, and people have possibility to make a choice. Also important during a referendum to have possibility to choose different articles for different constitutions. So, for example, one constitution and second constitution have no difference, but people can change some articles, switch, customize by themselves. In such way, we will have more possibility to have more democratic voting system.
There was actually one of the questions that we left from our 10. The question was, can we vote on single articles or only on different constitution versions? And yeah. I mean, this would potentially create more chaos, in my opinion. But I would like to have to think about it and see about what referendum could bring in there. I did take some notes and also have some suggestions. I want to rather make the suggestions, which would be working out the main the main differences between the constitutions, the main articles where all these versions are opposite opinions, because it's not about the wording. So we should have a group that analyzes quickly analyzes the proposals that we're having and working out the main differences of them. I think this is interesting. And for the questions that we're having right now, can we get them translated? Because then I would like to merge all these questions and go through, and because we did this in the group already, and see that we can actually have a top 10. I think a top 10 is interesting for the next call, but we can't do this in 1 hour. I think it's too short.
My opinion, that top 10 is not enough. There should be more questions.
Yeah, we have 60 right now. I think they're all kind of related.
Yeah, some related, but I think 10 is not enough. It should be at least 15 questions. Not 60, for sure, not 60. But there is more questions coming out, which is important questions, and you think it should be wider range.
And I think I heard an interesting suggestion that Martin brought up in terms of these questions. Some of these bigger questions, like for example, whether we should vote on just articles themselves or vote on the Constitution. Maybe we have a working group, or maybe we somehow get working groups to form, because as Dimitri was saying, we need these small groups to get in these long calls together and really hammer out this question and answer it. right? And come up with it and say to the community, here's what we came up with, and here's the answer to this question, to what we believe.
Yeah, the first thing is important thing is a frame. If you can make a frame, then in this frame can work different teams on different proposals. Then you won't see so many mess and different frames and things. So and for me is important thing. There was no question about the glossary, but the question is, should Constitution has a glossary in itself?
Yeah.
So
right.
the additional question is, so there is some terms should be defined for clarifying for the community. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think when we agree on having a coherent constitution, then we need to have subdocuments.
Dachien, did you have something you'd like to add?
No.
Well, I know that with the original slides, I'll show the slides again. We had talked about coming out with what the core beliefs and concepts are for this group. You know, what are the top questions? And in terms of how to tackle the questions and moving forward, and whether we do more questions or whatever the case is, we can figure that out in future calls. But see if we can get at least a takeaway from this, and then hopefully other smaller groups will form and help tackle some of these questions or help advance this further. As Dimitri was saying, these larger calls are not ideal for really tackling hard issues and long calls. You need the really dedicated groups to get together, small groups to work it out. So let me share the slides here. Dachien, go ahead. You may have something to add with your slide, especially with number 2.
Number 2. No, yeah, no. Well, I think pretty much everybody here in all 3 groups, you know, here and there, we also contribute to the part 2. So you know, just to echo on what you just said, Kevin, I think what Victor did, as he shared with us, was a great example of, you know, already starting with a very knowledgeable groups, very small amount, you know, just not too many people, but really dedicated group members here in the community, and contributing on you know, drafting this constitution, like Dimitri says, making the frame first, and then you know, moving forward. I think that's a great way to start. So no, I have nothing to add. I'm very, very happy about our discussion today.
Okay. And do we have, if we were to go back to the main, you know, like for example, in Martin's Medium post that he makes for the summary, what are the primary takeaways we should make sure, or if we bring it up in the Alliance chat, what are the most important questions that we've seen today? And I know we heard from group 2 about how developers need to be represented well, wherever the questions are. We have heard, I'll stop my sharing for a moment so I can, or actually what I'll do is I'll bring this up again. We've heard from both group 1 and group 3 about whether the Constitution should make it clear about arbitration being free market and not influenced by BPs. That seems to be kind of an important ongoing question. And then what else is there that we've missed? It sounds like an ocean almost. Is there, you guys getting some feedback?
Well, how can we control too powerful groups? What is too powerful, and what kind of ways do we have to control these? This is, I mean, one of the things that you highlighted right there, right? But
now let me share it again. Hang on one second.
It's not news.
Marty, can you share the questions was highlighted by us? This question.
Myra has them. Oh. They're also in the Google document.
Oh, I'll let Myra share her screen then.
Yeah.
I'll compile this into a list.
Okay, I'm here.
Yeah, do you have that? Can you share that Google document, the list that you guys made again for group 1?
Okay. How about this one? Yeah. Can you see?
No, I don't see anything yet.
A second. About this one?
Yeah.
All right.
So not crossed is choose.
No, not crossed is to be revisited. I think we didn't we didn't choose our champions because they were a bit related. Like that's what I mean. I think I can with you guys. We were working pretty well. Like Dimitri, Myra. Like that. If we would have had more time, then we would have been more productive in merging them. If you guys want, we can work on this document in the coming days more and try to condense really the most, or also rephrase them a little bit so they are combined into questions. Like many questions.
Yeah, rephrase, and I think it should be better framed for this question.
Phrased or framed?
Frame.
Yeah, but for this I would need, and I think for all the other documents it would be interesting to like the Korean calls, the questions, and the English call questions, to get them also translated, to later have then one Google Documents with all the questions.
Absolutely.
In all 3 languages. So we can basically start merging the questions now in our document and then translate it in all the other questions. But in order to, for me and Dimitri to work on this document, I need the Chinese questions translated into English. And then we could meet. Yeah. Then I can propose something, and then we can discuss this, or we can have another call. The three of us, or whoever wants to join.
Yeah, Marty, we can do that another time. Maybe daytime.
Yeah.
We all in China right now, so we can do it daytime, like together. Tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow, like morning time is okay for me.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to get the document translated, and then we all take a look and make suggestions. You know, I can just copy the document to a new Google document and then work on merging it, and then I suggest it to you guys, or we can have a meeting tomorrow afternoon, or anytime really. Tomorrow and the day.
It's fit for me. Tomorrow is fit for me.
Okay.
I have a question about the next call, and I would like to share what we did with the Russian community, with another people, but I don't know if people it's necessary for you or not. So I would like to know your opinion, guys. So
what about the other people on the group right now? It's like Evie, Tiffany. You have anything more to add? Okay. Well, Dimitri, then you can share.
Actually, what we changed as I said before, we changed the EU Amsterdam Constitution to Constitution version 3.1, which is from Russian community. There is extract about changes, which I will share later. I cannot share it right now because I'm on a call. And what we did, we have proposal for the like arbitration system. There is special vision of one of the participants of the call, and I translated it in English. So till the next week, the constitution will be translated in Chinese, and I would like to share this with the global community, Chinese community, and to have more discussion about it, and to know your opinion, guys. You can also leave comments about it. It's Google Docs files, so you can leave comment about each article, what you don't like or like, and that's all. So I would like to know if people would like to have a call and discuss it.
Yeah, sure. I'm down. That goes a lot to what I suggested earlier, that since you were involved in writing this constitution, you know, you can already introduce this quickly. Where are the main differences from this version to the Amsterdam version? You know, because we analyzed the Amsterdam version already in one of the previous calls. So it would be interesting for me to know what did the Russian group agree on with Amsterdam, and what they didn't agree on.
Yeah. We can do it. As I told, the article is already prepared. I just need to share it. And and on the call I just can explain where is the difference. So you don't need to go through all constitution again.
That's what I mean.
If you don't want to, but you can see the changes and difference and the proposals how to make it better.
Yeah, because this would for me then be more interesting to make comments. If I know already explained where you're coming from, then I can make comments easier, and people can also watch this and then make the comments afterwards when you make this an open document, the Google document.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So you want to schedule like a Russian constitution introduction call, basically?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Yeah, I will join.
But if another people agree about that, this will be cool to make it.
Please update me the time. Afternoon time works for me.
You mean for the questions?
No, for the, if we're organized, what I'm thinking is this, me and Martin, we can meet first to discuss about, to go through how we organize. If a necessity, we can invite the community to join the phone call, but let's discuss about strategy first.
Okay.
All right. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Is it good for you guys?
A second.
Works for me.
11 works.
Yeah.
I have
okay.
like a second. Okay. I have like a 6, 7, 9, and okay, 11 works for me.
Just get up at 6. Okay.
Okay. Morning 6 class is the English call.
Okay.
No.
All right. Cool. All right. So let's just meet on WeChat tomorrow 11 and then do a Zoom call. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
This is great. I mean, that's what we need. Basically, we need focus groups to step off and really hone these questions in and make sure that get them answered. And then furthermore, these same focus groups or different ones will jump in and answer the questions and then provide that feedback that'll be next week or the week after. But right now we do need to hone these in and get it figured out. So
cool.
Any final thoughts before we step off? Yeah. Well, thank you guys very much for coming in. We'll see you guys next week. And we're looking forward to hearing what you guys come up with when you focus more in tomorrow as well.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
guys.
Martin.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Tiffany,
Thank
Candy.
you, Myra.
Bye.
Thank you, Myra.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Goodbye,
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Tiffany.